So we're up to day 3, the second part of the pattern, and I just wanted to go through this little witch that we're stitching. So she has some fractional stitches and some back stitches on her. The back stitches are her little bubbles here and here, and her mouth is a back stitch too. I've printed this quite small. You'll be able to zoom in, yours will be printed bigger, so you'll be able to see those back stitches a little better, but they're here and here, and her mouth. And this mouth ends halfway on the square here. You don't go all the way up to the top. So let's just talk about these fractional stitches now. Now the fractionals on here are represented by 2 symbols in 1 square. And the reason I've done it like this is because if you don't want to do it as a fractional, you could do 2 half stitches over each other if you wanted to. There's some more down here for her dress too. So yeah, you can do fractionals, or you can do a half stitch one way and then another half stitch over it. Let's go into the fractional though. So on even weave, this will be easier, but I know a lot of you are stitching on aida too, and I can do fractionals on aida. I'm going to show you how. So I have already stitched some of the hair, as you can see. I'm up to this stitch here, so I'm just going to finish it off. And then for her hair, the biggest part of the fractional, the 3/4 of the fractional, is the orange, and the 1/4 is the face, which is 739. So that's what fractionals are. They're either quarter stitches or 3/4 stitches. So let me show you. So I'm going to stitch that. Then I'm going to do the 3/4 in the top left of this square. So you come up, you can do whichever part first, you'll see now. So you go right into the middle of the square for the quarter. You don't go all the way across, you don't go down, don't go horizontal, you go right in the middle of the square. Now if you're stitching on even weave, you'll already have a hole in the middle that you can go into, but on aida there is no hole. So you kind of have to separate these threads of your aida. Now as you can see, these horizontal threads here, they will naturally separate into the middle, as will the ones underneath, the vertical underneath. They'll just naturally separate, and it's not too hard to get your needle in, see? So you put it right through the middle, and that is your first quarter fractional stitch done. And then you do the half stitch, which makes it into a 3/4 fractional. So you go up and over. And then you just have the bottom quarter left, which I'm going to show you now. So for that bottom quarter, it's a part of her face. So this is going to look like the hair sort of sweeping over her face a little bit. So you can just come up, not there, come up here. So I've swapped my colours now. I'm on to 739. Oops, pulled it too far. And when you go back down, you're going to go into that same hole as this one underneath is here. Really, I should have done the face first, actually. Probably better off starting with the 739. I'm just going to move that stitch all the way because that's still loose. So I'm going to go into that same hole as that orange is in. Now, as I've not started this yet, I'm just going to go in here, do the loop, and then pull it back round, pop my needle on. I'm just going to pull that orange a bit tighter. So you can see there's just a little tiny bit of a stitch, you can barely even see it, but it just gives that sort of look of a hair going across her face. So on the opposite side, you're doing the same, it's just that it's your orange is in the top right corner, your face part is in the bottom left corner. And then for the bottom of her dress, it's the same. So you do 3/4 black in the top left here, and just leave that bottom right, you don't do anything in that, and then that gives the sort of diagonal part of it. Oh, there's a couple more here too. So you do the 3/4 in the bottom right, 3/4 in the bottom left. And then for her legs, you do the same as the face as what you did with the orange. You do the 3/4 in black and the 1/4 in the sort of creamy colour for her skin. So yeah, you have a little bit of leg showing, but the dress is draping over her leg. So If you don't want to do that, like I said, you could just do half stitches here. You could literally, instead of doing that quarter bit at the top, just go straight across, diagonally across there. And then you could do, so, okay, if you want to do half stitches, do your understitch for the skin colour on the face and the legs, do your understitch in that, and then go over the top in the colour part, in the orange or the black. That's what I recommend doing. But the fractional stitches, really you're just adding a little bit onto the half stitch, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get the hang of. I hope that helped you. Let me show you on the other side. Let me see if I can count. I'll just show you again on the other side. And I'll start with the cream colour, if I can find it. I've got 2 needles threaded here. Right, let me see. So that's the middle. So I need to go out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think it should be here. Yep. So you come up in the bottom left. You're going right into that middle part of your aida, as you can see. Pull it through, and then obviously you don't have to do this at the same time. Like, you could do all of your face, do that little bit of a quarter, carry on stitching the rest of the face, and then come back with your orange. Obviously I'm just showing you how to do it, so I'm doing both at the same time. So for your orange, you could do your top quarter first. And like I say, on even weave, this will be much, well, not much easier. It will be a bit easier though, because you'll have that hole already. Fractionals are the most asked question I get about, and really they're not too difficult. It's knowing how to read them on the pattern though as well. I'll talk about that in a minute. So then you go bottom there, and you've just got that little bit of skin showing through. Yeah, so for fractionals, sometimes on the pattern they're not represented like this. They're represented with like all 4 corners of your pattern have a symbol. I tried to do that for this though, and it did not look great. So I'm just going to tell you which bit's the 3/4 and which bit's the quarter, if there is a fractional on the pattern, just so you know. But yeah, I hope that made sense. I hope you got you get the hang of fractionals. Just ask me if you're stuck, or if you need any help knowing where about to put your half stitches or anything like that. If you prefer to do half stitches, just let me know and I will help you any way I can.